Hello everyone. Start waiting for people to pop in and catch up. Quickly drop the link in for those who want to join in. There we go. Right. I'll do something different. Give us a sec. I'm going to do this. Bring it back. There we go. Rightio. That. There we go. Now I can do my craft. Well, I'm doing an upload currently at the moment of an update. It's been long due, so I don't really need to discuss that. But hey guys, I shouldn't say just guys. Hello, ladies and gents, and everyone who's watching. I deeply apologise for the stuff up today. I thought I'd set it for 7 PM, and I hadn't. I'd set it for midday or stuff. I didn't notice it, so sorry for the inconvenience it might have caused some of you for the times you might have booked for watching it. So I do apologise again for stuffing that up. Rightio. Just going to wait until people stream on in and join in with either the chat room or the live feed. Like always, I'm happy to have people hop on the live stream and talk with me. That's all right. Share your wisdom or whatnot. It's not bother me. I'm just going to start doing the moss mat project I've been meaning to do for a while now. I've got materials and it's time to get it done. So if I do miss some of you in the chat for the next few minutes, I do apologise. I'm not ignoring you. Definitely. So what's been happening out there in the world of the fish family? I hope everyone's tanks are going well, breeding projects are up and running nicely. No one's had a troublesome time. I see some of my friends in southern states have been hammered by a storm. I hope you've all gone well. No one's been overly affected by it. Go on off. Let's check the chat room. Doesn't look like there's anyone streaming in yet. Might actually hop on the Facebook and make sure post it up as live. There we go. Talking with the owner of Aquatic Communities the other day about permanent breeding setups. It's a project I am I'm definitely going to look at now. It's, well, the way it looks and things I was reading about it, well and truly worth it. Hello, what's going on here? Messages, 2 new messages. Nope, nothing of importance. Right, groups. Why is this not working? Ah, here we go. That's correct. Right, better pop a link into it. Hey, Jane. Welcome along. How's your night or evening going? Well, sort of when it is. So I'm in a nice warm evening at the moment, my end of the world. Right, why is this being annoying? I'll be back on chat in a second. I'm just sorting something out. Right. Post. There we go. Let's fix that. Now I'm back. So what's been happening your end, Gene? Anything interesting? Oh, that through and re-knock myself up. That's stuff I'll just do a fishing knot. Might as well do it fancy. Last forever. Nothing new? Oh, surely there's got to be something new. Change in systems, water change adjustments, anything. There's always something new in a fish room. Keeping tanks, even if it's not a fish room. Oh, how did I stuff it? Oh, I see. It ain't that strong. Oopsies. That fiberglass is certainly not strong. So I remember when I first started out, I only had one tank. Something new pop up every day, some little problem or something new you have to think about or look at or research. Even now, there's just so much stuff popping up, it's not funny. One of the... Yes, that is correct, Gene. I am creating a moss wall. Also moss mats for the ground too, so some of the egg scatterers. Yeah, I use my teeth to tie off fishing line. My fingers are very, very stiff. Have you got Google Hangouts by any chance? Because if you have, feel free to pop on the link and join in. More than welcome to if you want. See if I can get a better view for you. Right, how do I do this? There we go. That'll work. Just pull that back further. There you go. That's a better view. So how's the weather been going your end, Gene? Anything interesting with that? So I'm just coming into spring now and getting the heat finally kicking in, and less of this horrible cold winter feeling. Cold and rainy summer. What time are you going to be doing the live stream, man? Because I'm always happy to join in. Depends on whether I'll be during work hours or not. No, cold and rainy summer. That's not nice. What's happening with that? Summer's supposed to be summer. Noon. Noon, is that based off the current time we're at? So, what side of the world are you on, man? Because that'll kind of determine whether I'll be around or not. But like if I miss out, I'll be able to watch it anyhow. That's all right. I do catch up on a lot of the live streams I miss out on. Actually, this week I missed out on a lot. It's a bit gutted because I really wanted to join in on quite a few of them. Oh yeah, no, you're noon. It's 18. Or I might just make it. Might. Depends on how long you're going for. If you do 2 to 3 hours, I may just make it. Possibly. Haven't been to Canada in a long time. Came up from Seattle through to Vancouver, Chilliwack, in through to Banff, pulled out Idaho somewhere, head back to Seattle. Oh, it'll be 12 years ago now since I was last there. Oh, 3 a.m., 3, 4. So that takes me to 11:30. So it's 5 hours, it'll take me to 12, 6. You should make it. Yeah, I must say, one of the things I enjoyed, I've forgotten what the town's name is called, but you left Chilliwack, kept heading north towards east towards Banff. You came up from some small town on that main motorway, and just the view of the motorway and those forests into the Alpines. It was actually, that's right, there was some big castle. I remember a big castle now. It was just absolutely phenomenal scenery, mountains. The forest just got me, the size of it. Those trees are just absolutely astounding in size. Really loved it. So what have you got going on? Are you doing a wee fish room, or just a couple of tanks, or what do you got going, man? Doing any breeding or anything like that? Certainly wish my fingers weren't as bad as they are, because to me it's like feeding a camel through the eye of a needle. Just fingers are so stiff. Joys of builder's hands. Yeah, there's some sort of high. You get to a point, it's a plateau, and I think it's a couple of hours from memory before you hit Banff. But there's some steep railway line they've got to climb, and in there's a castle. It's always astounded me, the views up there. It's just breathtaking. Particularly Banff was something I never forgotten. Just enjoyed that place. It's kind of like our Queenstown, but on a much more bigger scale. Like, mountain sizes are probably the same, but here the valleys are so narrow, and you're only looking at a couple of k's in width, whereas what I was looking at was 20, 30, 40 miles, and it's like, ooh, this is such a big area. It's absolutely amazing. 26-gallon community crab. Danios, barbs. I love golden barbs. They are nice. Tell me, with your adventures in the forest, you guys get brook trout and Arctic char where you are? I shall have a look at that video. Well, I will once I've done this, but definitely will have a little look at that, man. The golden barbs are a nice species to keep. I was actually going to add them to my 50-gal Blackwater ecosystem in the house. Once it's up in the, once I get find a good bunch of them, that is nice lot. I was originally going to do glassfin catfish, but when I went to get them, they weren't looking the best. I wonder if this will be easy. Oh well, that's an easier idea. Just figured out an easier way of threading this through the fly mesh. What is that image of what I'm doing there? No, it's still working. I move around a lot, and I do apologise for it. In the car crash a few years ago, and my back is completely shot. In some ways, I wished I had health insurance when I did it, even though we got free healthcare where we are. It ain't working anymore. And I fell through the cracks, as it were, and I've got a back that will probably never be right for the rest of my life. I've had a chiropractor and a few other people have a look at it, but they don't think it'll be ever right. It's sort of fixed and it's not too bad, but I'm always in pain. Cramping sort of pain. Upper middle probably doesn't help with the type of job I've got. It's kind of nothing we don't try and lift. Shit. Frogs and snakes. Do you do vivariums? Do you? Because they're stunning. How big a group have you got? Because I've not known them to be overly nippy. Well, I know they can get a little bit touchy at each other, but certainly not tiger barb nippy. And also to do with school size as well, and how secure they feel. Yeah, vivariums, they're cool, man. Real cool. Love them. Something I do look at doing at some point. I shouldn't say vivarium, it's a paludarium. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. With what to do with plant and all that. I want to set it up as one of the high country streams for white clouds. Kind of like what Rachel O'Leary's done for her river manifold system in 150 gal, but not that big. But do it with probably a 40-gallon amount of water, but have an actual riverbed as well. A few plants, see how much colour I can get out of them. I think that will have to wait until my new fish room's built when we progress to building our house down the road from where we're living. That's got to go through all the paperwork yet before that can happen. Paperwork, planning, discussions, adjustments, surveying. Do some quantity surveying for myself, from bits and pieces from work, find out things. Then once I do that, get the council consent, go ahead, get the money. I should say, get the money, council consent, then do it. Fish room will be the first thing built. Do that in cash, so that when the house is built, we can easily shift this fish room into the main fish room. Yeah, five of them. See what? Just quickly going off topic. Hold a second, I'll shift the camera. I'll just make sure I'm on the hangout so I look at it properly. Make sure the cord can reach, just to bear with me in there. There we go. They're the green flame tetras up there. I've got 11 of them, and that class is quite a nippy species of tetra. The whole time I've had them, watching and monitoring, I've not seen any nippiness, aggression to the ember tetras, any dramas amongst them. They've gotten on well, and I've just found all the secrets to the catching my mouse, to keeping various species happy is actually numbers. The more the better. I also noticed that when you add more with like Malawi or Tanganyika cichlids, the more you've got, the less of the problem you've got spread right out. As long as you got a so some decent filtration and a good water change schedule, you shouldn't have too much issue bumping the school up, provided you keep up the water changes. What type of filtration are you running? Out of curiosity. Yeah, just a sec. Give me a sec. I'll just adjust what I'm doing here. I'll make a pathway. And I'll show you the fish room. Audio. We'll start from here. That is the front door. Cycling around, I've just bought it's right there on that little shelf, 10 gal for some of the guppy projects I've got coming up. Got 40 gal here. Get the light a bit better. It's bright. 40 gal. It's just got some Kenya cichlids in it that are growing out and are waiting to be picked up. 100-gallon Tannin ecosystem, which has currently got a hap in it, which I'm not happy about. And I want that hap out eventually when I get the next rack coming in and another tank. 83-gallon South American ecosystem. I've got a lone female discus, Bolivian rams, rummy nose tetras, hidden taillight tetras, and BNP, Brocca, or I think it's 6 or 8 of them, something like that, and about 14 bronze coras, most of them bred in the tank themselves. Actually, hold on, there's the BNP. I don't know how well, the fish room's pretty bright, so I don't know if it's showing. Bear with me, I'll turn the light off and see if it works. There we go. This might be a bit better for you to see. There, BNP is just under the log relaxing. Also, the Bolivian ram is just wondering what on earth is happening. And my female disc is getting ready to show off because she always loves to show off to a camera. On the other side, I can't go too far, I've run out of cord. I've got my storage cupboard for all the various foods and bits and pieces. 32-gallon guppy tank, which will be added to eventually. 50-gallon, which has got I think 14 Sturby Cory, glow light tetras, black neons, SAEs, a male trifiscata, Pistogrammus, and some golden finnax. And my main rack here, Pistogrammus borrelii pair in the 22-gallon long up the top there. Norman Lampide Achilles in the 11-gallon, another 11-gallon which has just started up. Some black neons which I've got to check to see if they've spawned. The one I showed before, the ember tetras and the green flame tetras. Baddest, scarlet baddest I should say, in the far right hand tank. Bottom tank there has my grumpy female trifiscata. That tank's empty, getting ready to shift a couple of fish around. And then here is about 200 fry of Tannin bracciati that are growing out and getting ready to be taken from there into the 40-gallon when lady comes to pick all her pick them all up for me so that I can grow the bracciati out correctly. I do hope that she comes soon. I'd like to get that tank back. So that's just a basic tour of what I've got in here currently. Not much really, but I'd say probably by the time February comes I'll have another 20-ish tanks and hopefully a marine running. It's not quite sitting right. Here we go. Now, if I've missed any questions, I'm popping a look now. Oh, where were we? The vivariums. Yeah, the aquascapes. Thanks for that, man. That's nice. The aquascapes to me, I don't know if you do much on the forums or anything like that. I'm an avid promoter for forums as well, but currently and always will be a member for Aquatic Community. There's a group of us on there who follow on Facebook Tannin Aquatics, and we try to imitate as much as possible the ecosystems, not to the point of biotope, but just getting the ecosystems to look much like the riverbeds, banks, estuaries, whatever is out there, just so that the fish have the most natural, neutral looking environment to suit that they should be in. So, for example, like those green flame tetras with the tank they've got, it's full of leaf litter, Java moss growing on the ground, rocks, logs, some hygrophillia in it, a wee bit of duckweed on the top, air sponge just to deal with the filtration, which it does really well. And it just gets a 20% water change every week. Other than that, that's about it. Never have any problems with it. Just keep it as happy as can be. You see the ember tetras from time to time have a spawn. Nothing has ever survived yet. The way I've set it up, it's not set for spawning and surviving yet. Not a true setup. But thank you for commenting on that. I really appreciate it. Sponge filters. Oh, they're great, eh? They're really great. Sponge filters. Aquaclear hang-on backs. I've got a heap of those, and they're one of the nicest filters I've run. Keep the tank perfectly clean. The only thing I would say that's equal to them is sponge filters, which I'm running. Over the next, it'll probably take me 3 to 6 months when I get the main airline running. I'm going to try and phase out all my canisters that are on the bigger tanks and just run a wee power head. I've got a wave maker in the tank and Yukon tank, and a power head just in the Amazon ecosystem for the 83 gallon. And my goal with that is just so I can run air filters, have a power head for decent circulation, and make sure it just filters up. On my 50 gallons, just got two sponge filters in it, and it does a better job than it was doing with the hob. Same with pretty much all my tanks, except for the one in the house. It'll stay canister. That's different. I'm not worried about the subs, man. People will find the channel eventually. It's all good. But thank you anyhow. It's really really appreciated. All I really want to do is just share what I'm doing, and I'll just hold a second. I'm gonna just go turn my light back on so I finish my moss before it starts getting dry. Just so my goal really is just to share with people what I'm doing. I'm not what you'd call an expert, definitely not. Just learning as I go so that it can help someone else along the way with what they're doing. Cool. Also to have a video log of what I've done. Yeah, eventually once things get going, I'll probably be able to do a little bit more than that. But at this stage, I'm happy. The channel's growing and starting to meet some real neat people on here, and it's just really cool. I'm enjoying the fish fam. Don't know if you ever got to watch them, but Tim's late nights, they were real good when Tim and Tony, True Delta Strata, was streaming every night with their fish rooms. Oh, it was just great. I hope you got to see them. Oh, that's all good, man. 3 AM your end. You're doing well staying up that late. As I'm getting older, I don't stay up that late very well anymore. But no, good on you, and thank you for popping in. It was good to have you on board. And hope you have a good rest of your night. Well, actually, hang on, it'll be you'll be coming in Sunday morning for you. Lucky, because I'm about to start work in another 10.5 hours on a Monday morning. Yay, not. Well, yeah. Yeah, I thought you would. Your Tim's fish room is really good, eh? I hope it goes back to the way it used to be with the late night talks. I used to love joining in on that. It's super cool. Big shout out for Tim's channel because it was really good. Really liked it. But hey, I'll make sure. Hang on. Do it now. I'll make sure I am tuned in and have the notification bell set on your one so that I've set for tomorrow. If I do miss it, I do apologise. I'll run. Why is it not doing that? If I do miss it, I do apologise, and I will watch it when we go. Just make sure I've got notification bell on. Yep, bell's definitely on. So yeah, if you send us the notification when you do your video, I'll get a notification and we'll be good to go. Oh, awesome! Just seeing the videos you got there. Nice setup you got, man. Real cool. Oh, oops. Stupid move. I'll just Google Hangouts for me seems to only want to work on Google Chrome, and I'm swapping between Internet Explorer and Chrome, and I was just having issues. I'm not what you call ultra computer literate. It was just sort of, it's never my forte, I should say. But no, I'll when you do your live stream, if I miss it, I'm sorry. I will do the best I can and hope I'm home in time. And if not, I'll catch up. And if it's a late night and you guys are talking for quite a while, so I see one of those live streams you did for 6 hours, I'm more than likely to be able to catch you. Should be super cool. Catch you later, man. Have a good one. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Viewers, I was ultimately only going to go for an hour. Hey, I haven't finished my mask yet, and I'm in no rush. So I'll just sit back and finish. If anyone pops on, welcome. There's got to be a better way. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Something's not right. I'm not doing it right. There we go. Now I'm using my head. When I do that update the other day, regarding the summer tubbing, I'm pretty much scrapping the idea, as it were, how I've done it. I'm going to redo it. Tubs, place them in a different spot. They're too visible from the street from where they are, and even though in a good neighbourhood, I don't want it left there because it'll be probably a prime target for someone to put soap into. I'll put them in another spot, less likely to have any problems. think just a couple of decent sized tubs will work. Water temperature now is staying quite stable at about 10 degrees outside. I don't know what it's dropping to at night. I'd say it probably drops down to about 5. So we're still quite a wee way off. I should say more than quite a wee way off. Just official spring for us. Where I am doesn't start for a couple of weeks, so we're just getting the start of the warmth now. So, we'll think of some species to put in there. I'll probably start with some white clouds and might progress on to some Denios. See how that goes. Where's that notification bell from? Apparently there's a viewer lurking. Apparently. Yeah. Let's see, notification from TikTok. Well, whoever's lurking, feel free to pop up if you want to. Always happy to have someone extra to talk to. It's always great. If you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Not sure someone who's more experienced will pop on at some point to help. I'll keep this going until I've got my moss done and happy with it, so that'll probably be another 20 minutes at this rate. If we get a few people pop in, I'll keep going for a bit more. Check chat. Hey, White, welcome aboard. Long time no see. Yeah, like I can go for another hour. If we've got a good conversation, I can go for another couple of hours. It doesn't bother me. If we can get a few people coming in to chat, I'm sure you and I could just natter away until the wee hours of my morning without any dramas at all. All we need is someone on YouTube to come up with an invention so we don't have to sleep. We can just keep going. Fish fam talk and fish room antics. It would be super cool. No need to sleep. Don't you nod up. Say, hey, don't do that. I feel a bit bad considering it's mesh bag I've made. I've used 40 kg nylon. Bit of an overkill considering I don't think this fly mesh would even be able to handle a half an ounce pull on it. We're so careful tying these up. time I'll do another one actually. All we need right now is Happy Fish Guy to pop on. Now that would be awesome. Here is the life of the fish chat. Full of fun, great entertainment, great personality. I really enjoyed chatting with him. And I'll do a couple of tacks in the middle. Don't use Facebook. What do you mean by that? I'm a bit. What's happened? What has happened? What I should do. Drop a link in to Tannin Aquatics on Facebook. They've been given seriously good info, like great images, discussions, good community on there. I'm just going to give them a shout out on here. Really enjoying what's going on. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. Nah, it's all good. It's all good, man. Right. Address. See if this works. Hope I don't get it right. Hope I did this link correctly. Check it. And it did. Awesome. So for everyone who's wondering, I've just dropped the link into the description for a shout out to Tannin Aquatics on Facebook. Been following that on one of our members on the aquatic community. Got me into it. Checking out their site a wee while ago. Some great reading material that they post up. Some amazing tanks that they've got in their member base. And it's all about, literally, as the title depicts, tannins and imitating the tannin ecosystem. Some really stunning setups they've got. So a big shout out for them. And for those who are unable to collect botanics for their tanks, they're more than able to help fix that problem for you. So what's been happening your way, Dan? Anything exciting? I'll chuck that link back in too. So if you want to pop on, feel free to. I feel kind of weird talking to myself. Keep fucking messages to me. Oh, I see. Someone's going to town on Facebook with the Fish Tank Addicts group. Still. Righty, back to where I was. Sorry if I missed anyone. No, nothing's missed. Oh, we got 2 watchers lurking. 2 lurkers now. Anyone on there who's got hangouts and wants to pop in, the link's in the chat. Feel free to jump on. Jump on. Enjoy the fish fam. Nothing new and exciting though. Surely there's got to be something, man. Something's got to be exciting. Did you Oh, what's up? I remember from the last room. It's been a while because I've had a lot go on. Or am I thinking of someone else? Oh, I can't remember now. Because I'm on the forums a lot, I blur things together every now and then. I forget. But I thought it was you showing some plecos in your tank last stream. Oh, I might be confusing myself with another stream. I can't remember now. I thought you said you might have been saying you were going to get more or something like that. Am I right? Oh, please do jump on, man. I feel like I'm nattering away to myself and going mad. Yeah. I remember you were showing the plecos that they'd come out to play. That's right. Might be me who was thinking about getting them. Maybe that's what I'm confusing. So at some point I do want to actually start getting into these plecos. There's some stunners out there. That might have to wait until the fish room's built. Not this one, the proper one. This is only temporary. The biggest thing is working out the size, because I wouldn't mind 140 square meters. That size, I'm going to have to get a consent. That could be a pain in the neck, and also more money. Which would mean more money spent on that, less the size, which means not good. So what? Because you were in Spain last time I talked. Are you still there? How's the weather going over there? Hey, Chris. What is happening? Welcome along to the live stream. Nearly got this moss tied off nicely. Nearly. All good, White. See you soon. So what's happening, Chris? Don't know if I've met you on any of the live streams before. Not that I remember. I may have. If you want, pop on and onto the Hangouts and join in. Feel free to. More than welcome. $10 a.m. That's nice and early, man. I'm getting ready for a Sunday night at 7, nearly 8 p.m. Dreading the thought of work in the morning. Shouldn't say I'm dreading it. Till I see on the job site, so I'm not too worried. But still, guess it's money in the bank for more fish. Still, I prefer to be stuck in here in the fish room relaxing. So you guys had a good start to your weekends? Matt done. No, there we go. The mat is now done. Ready, set, and dropped in. Let's see how it goes. Rightio. Oops. And I got enough moss to make another small one. And I should grab this. Hold on, guys. Coming back. Don't panic. Just give me a minute. That's better. Another ball of moss. The newer pistos, the Barali, they're going really well this so far. Oh, thank you. You just reminded me. Turn my air off on the brine shrimp, so I better go and feed them. Feed the pistos. Right, yeah. Just here again. Yeah, thanks for that. I nearly forgot to feed them. I would have remembered later, but I would have been coming back out. Go. The live food to make them happy. Some more live for the backs. And no, Killies can get some live. Go. See what they think of that. Yeah, so the Piscogrammus variety are going really well. Might fatten the male up slightly. See if I can get the camera this way. I'll put it on here so make sure I'm filming it nicely. Yeah, you can see the cloud of brine shrimp. Hold on, my laptop's. Just give me a minute. I'll be a little jerky. Sorry, guys. There's the female having a feed of brine. Should be filling her guts full, that's for sure. And I'm useless with this camera. There we go. Certainly not good at multitasking, that's for sure. She's got a wee porcelain pot to suit. A few other caves sitting around. And here is the male, who I would like to get a little bit fatter. It's just slightly skinny. I hope he hasn't got any parasites. I've not noticed anything in the feces, any laboured breathing or anything. He just doesn't seem to. He's just not put the weight on like the female has. Now he needs to come over this side so he can see the food. The old female's got a nice wee gut forming on her, that's for sure. But she's a bit red around the gill, which is. I don't know if it's her age or the colour that's showing it, but she's always been red around the gill, which I don't really trust. Only the male would pop round and have a look. Put slightly too much brine shrimp in. That's right. I can do a wee water change tomorrow. What's happening in chat? Ooh. 3 watching. That's growing. Whoever else is lurking, welcome to my live stream. Feel free to introduce yourself and ask any questions or whatnot. No, endeavour to help. For those who don't know and have just joined in, I'm a little distracted as I'm making a. Come on, here we go. A moss mat. There we go. Let's go. Oh, this one's big. Should have checked, see if that's enough. Oh yeah, that's enough. That.
All right,
hello, what's happening?
all right. My internet's not the best, so I don't know how well it is.
Oh, you'll be alright. Oh boy. How's the weather going your way?
Weather's been good. It did rain the other day the other night for a little bit. Well, it only it only picked basically, like, and it was only for maybe an hour, and that was about it. But,
Oh, that's all right then.
yeah, we don't get much
We're
rain
starting
here.
to get just heat.
Yeah, a lot of heat.
Yeah. You won't really have to worry about heating your tanks then, will you?
It's not even plugged in. The plugs are there. The only reason I'm taking it out is because my TV's on top of it, and I couldn't be bothered to take all of that off to get the heater out. But the water is currently sitting at 28 degrees. So.
Man, that must be a nice problem to have, eh?
Yeah, do you do Celsius, yeah, or Fahrenheit?
I can do both, but we run on Celsius.
Yeah, well, then yeah, you know. Yeah, 28 degrees Celsius with no heaters on in my tanks at the moment.
There's nothing wrong with that type of issue.
Nah, no wasted electric. Well, no electricity going towards that anyway. So happy.
No, we I wish we could do that because I certainly wouldn't be doing tanks. I'd be doing.
You are?
Don't know. I wouldn't be doing tanks if I had the ability to have all year round heat like that. I'd be doing ponds.
Oh no, it's technically summer here at the moment, but I was even in the winter. I wouldn't think it gets lower than 16 degrees in a pond at night. You know.
That's just about. Like I've watched and listened to a lot of discussions, read a few articles, all sorts of things. A lot of people say if the fish are acclimated, they start through the summer, the water progresses through. Apparently, a lot of the tropics will survive the winter as long as it doesn't go below about 15. It just means they hibernate a lot depending on the species.
Yeah, that's what I did as well. And even where the fish come from, they have winter where they come from. It's not always as hot as, you know.
Oh, precisely. Like I was reading an article the other day, a discussion about electric blue rams and Bolivian rams, and these two people getting into a heated argument about you've got to keep the Bolivian rams at a lower temperature to thrive, and the electric blues sort of going up 28, 29 sort of degrees.
Yeah.
Well, you read through the exact biotope they come from, and then once you do that, you go and check the satellite imagery and heat imagery from the weather around that area, and then you read the records of highs and lows, and their water's going up and down 10 degrees. It's not really a big problem. As long as it's stable and not fluctuating heavily, it's not a big problem.
I think it was Corey that mentioned when these people go out and test the waters where they come from and everything. They don't go there in the rainy season, in the winter. They go there in the summer, like, you know. So, and they get the best possible results then. Like, but if you went there in the rainy season and that, I bet you wouldn't get the same results as they bring them back, telling you that that's what you meant to keep.
It'll keep fluctuating.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've got to be careful because I wanted to do that as summer tubbing where I am, but I've got to watch at night time because their chances are the water for me can go down to about 8 degrees, but then during the day it'll jump up to about 15 to 20 degrees. So I've got to be very careful what I do.
My swimming pool outside at the moment, because it's the end of summer now, but because it's been summer, it hasn't dropped below 30 degrees, my swimming pool. So it's only gone up to like 33 degrees though, and that. But well, it has dropped below. It's been like 28, 29 degrees, like, you know, or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. So in the summer it'd be fine out here, I know that. But in the winter, the swimming pool is where I go by. If I had a pond out here, I'm thinking, although I don't know, the swimming pool is below ground, like, as well. So that if I was to build a pond out here, it's all concrete where I am at the moment. So I'd have to build another above ground pond. So that might fit from you know.
I know exactly what you mean, because
below 16 degrees, but that's below ground. A lot of it is. So maybe an above ground pond might actually drop a lot further at night. I don't know.
well, you're above the ground really is open to having the oh, we've got a bit of echoing going on here. Yeah, the above ground ones are a lot more subject to change versus the ground keeping the temperature more stable.
Yeah, that's it. The swimming pool doesn't drop fast. Like, its temperature stays, you know, it keeps its temperature really well anyway. Whereas I haven't done no above ground pond. I did want to do one, but by the looks of it, I'm moving back to Britain at the end of the year. So I'm not going to waste the money. Well, I'm not going to spend the money on building a pond at the moment. Otherwise, I'm just going to save up and move back home and build a pond there and a fish pond there.
I know what you mean. Like with me, because we're going to build a house. It'll probably take about 3 years before it's done, like complete. But we'll be starting to build a house in a year and a half. And before that, I've got to build this new fish room. Well, the property I've got 2 acres. I want to do ponds. So because our winter air temps will get into the negatives. I'm just thinking of how I can do something like, say, 200 or 300 mil foam into the ground, some plastic DPC, do the pond, do a couple of covers over top, and see if I can do a solar heating system to always circulate water through like a radiator. I wonder if that'll be enough to keep it up in the high 18s or 20s.
Well, I know you can get pond heaters and stuff like that. And if you can run it off a solar panel system, then that'd be cool. And if you put like one of those polythene domes over it, that'll keep a lot of heat in as well. You know?
Exactly, as long as you can stop a lot of trends.
Yeah.
Now keep going.
If you have it open to the elements, like, then you're going to lose a lot of heat from the pond. But as long as you have like a polythene tunnel or a greenhouse over the top of it or something, I think that should keep a bit of the heat in if you are generating some heat in there at all. Like, you know, as long as some heat's being generated. Well, even the daylight, you said, is going to heat up the pond, and then at night, hopefully that should trap some of the heat. Then it'll do better.
Exactly, and if I got a solar heat,
yeah.
If I run a solar house water heating system and just keep water temperature circulating, that should be enough to do pretty much tropicals all year round outdoors here.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. They just like heat the building or the greenhouse or wherever they got the ponds in, right? And then yeah, they run tropical fish in there all year round. Rainbows.
Because what I'd love to do is just precisely like do a good couple of like 5 meter by 600 deep ponds, and just it'd be amazing to see I don't know if you've seen it, but you know Ted's Fish Room's channel?
Ted Judy, I know. Tiana, no, I don't.
Yeah, Ted Judy. Yeah, he
Yeah.
when he did the Colombian trip,
Yeah.
one of the facilities that he went to that did the holding, he had all those outdoor ponds.
Yeah.
And his just showing like Oscars, Tetras, Epistogrammas, some Geophagus. They were just all together in this pond. And when you look at it, there's Epistogramma fry, and you've got Oscars in there, and they're still all getting on perfectly fine. Just the size of the ecosystem was just amazing.
Yeah, that's it. As long as there's enough room and there's enough eyes, you know, places to hide and stuff like that, then you can run big killer fish, as they would put it, predator fish, like, and you want this because that's just nature, isn't it? I bet you where you find Oscars, you don't just find Oscars. Like, I bet you find small fish there as well. Like.
Precisely. It's only because, like, when you think of it, let's just say you had a 1,000-gallon tank. It's only 1,000 gallons. For an Oscar, you're looking at a river that could have 20 to a 50,000-gallon volume just in the vicinity he's in alone, not to mention the rest of the river.
Yeah.
It's just.
That's it. And you'll have shallow ends, deep ends, and everything like that. You know, you'll have different environments all throughout it.
Not only just that, like you could have up to half a foot of leaf litter on the ground. Where you do that, you've got generations of Epistogrammas just all of a sudden able to get away. Tetras that are dropping eggs everywhere. It just goes on.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, it's not all just one
like I watched
skate.
Exactly. I watched a video on our native, they're not native, but our brown trout population. And they were saying that theoretically, from what they understand from watching and tracking the species with GPS trackers, that they actually got a territory in the rivers that's only 4 square meters, and that's it. Now, of course, they'll move around bigger volume than that in a bigger area, but its actual patrolling route is 4 square meters. And I found it quite interesting. It seems to be quite true because you always find certain species, right? Like in Aussie, I'll be catching a type of perch, and you'll look right that log there. You'll cast it, and of course it's there. And then you go to another spot, and there'll be some little small species that's just sitting there, and it's not like people go and say, oh, you got to have all this volume, but it's still going to kill everything. In the wild, it's not like that.
They'll find an area that suits them in that river, and they'll be able to survive and if not thrive, like, you know, within that area of the river. Like.
So as it wasn't David Attenborough, but as a lady doing a Tanganyikan discussion of the Tanganyikan Lake biotope for the aquariums, but she did it diving in the lake and doing an imitation of David Attenborough as such. And it was amazing how the various cichlids were interacting in, like, for example, the shell dwellers with some of the Trocephus, all sorts of interlacing of communities after communities. And you're looking at, say, like a Trocephus school going past of 1,000. It's just amazing to watch and listen to the scientific discussions they were having. It certainly put me in a different mind of that's technically a freshwater reef, because they were talking about a lot of freshwater corals and sponges that were in that lake.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's amazing.
To have a freshwater. I only just found out, like, not long ago, about Swasatang and Pelii, is it, or whatever, they're freshwater. seaweed, like fresh water.
You just broke up there. I didn't quite catch the last what you said. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Chris. I've just been off chat room. Been busy doing what I've been doing.
Yeah, what did I say? Oh yeah, I no long found out about freshwater seaweed like Sawasatang and Pelii
Yes.
as well.
Yep, I know what you mean. Chris, no, I don't have a RO unit. I just use tap water. My tap water has a TS of 66, KH of 5, GH of 6, and pH of 7.6. So pretty soft water.
Yeah.
I finally completed an annoying problem I've had for a while now.
What's that?
I've set up I just use 240-gallon buckets, put them on chairs, and then I just siphon from all the tanks into those two buckets. And I run two hoses out into a nearest drain, which is about 30 meters away. So they're just siphoning out of the big buckets. I just keep siphoning into them. And then once I've done that, I've got a 60-meter hose. It took forever because my hot water cylinder is 4 meters above ground, so I've got enough gravity to come to the fish room. But because it's only gravity fed and our mains pressure is incredibly high, I've not been able to get a reducer enough to not force the hot water back into the cylinder. So like running a 3-way splitter, hot, cold, into the fish room. So I've finally managed to split it down and get a good manifold. So water changes is so easy now because I just top it up with a hose, set it say 25 degrees, and fill as I fill and drain as I go. It saves so much time.
I don't heat my water but my water changes. I don't exactly do fast water changes, so, but I don't heat my water. So, yeah,
I kind of have to. I kind of have to because the tap water is 6 degrees.
Yeah.
And I don't want to risk. I forgot what they call it, but there's a gas exchange problem you can get between cold and hot.
The pipes here are buried so close to the surface that that literally the heat from the sun warms up the water. You try and get cold water out of the tap, and you can't do it, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. See, whereas ours are the opposite. Ours are as deep as they can go, so they don't freeze.
Yeah. Oh, we don't get ice here.
Well, most of our frost is just sort of starting to vanish now, but during winter, yeah, we get quite a lot of frost and black ice.
Oh, we don't get no ice. We don't get no frost. We get hailstones from storms every now and again. I suppose that's ice, but it don't get cold enough here to get.
Hey, Flame, welcome along. Thanks for joining in. The old Spanish countryside sort of always intrigued me. It looks nice, a mix of everything, but the heat, oh, that'd be just lovely.
Coming from Wales, I thought because everything's green. Now, admittedly, it's just grass, like grass fields and stuff, right? But everything's green because it rains so much, And then coming here, it just looked dead. It looked barren and dead to me, like, you know. It's got its own sort of beauty, but it's not live. Like, everything just looks dead here.
Well, when I used to work out in Central Australia, it was like that, just brown grass that just went on for thousands of kilometres.
Oh, there's not even grass here. Like, you get these
just rock.
It's a dried up riverbed since they put it down there. And you get patches of grass there because obviously when it does rain, the water condenses down there. There's no grass. There's like grass. And where I live at the moment, there's they're watered, you know, but the landscape around that isn't, you know, taken over by man, like, it's just all dead and barren.
So what's your water sources from then? Just like bores and wells, or have you got like? Because I know some of the areas you get snowed and all that.
Yeah, well, we've got a dam, and so I'm guessing the water comes from there because it's not far away. Because I live near Lyria, which old Lyria, which ain't too far away, like. And then they dammed off the whole mountainside, which flooded old Lyria. So they moved Lyria, the whole town, to where it is now. Like. So I'm probably getting my water from there. Like, you're on about water TDS is over 700. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
700. That's some serious calcification potential there.
Yeah. Well, you can tell by all the taps and the pipes and that, everything like that. They get clogged up. Like, my uncle's boiler has had to be like, I don't know, fixed anyway, like, you know, multiple times. And I've been here 3 years, and I've seen it done, like, I don't know, 4 times since I've been here, at least, like it again. Well, that's because there's so much calcium in the water.
Yeah. Well, at least when you drink it, you'll be getting super strong bones over time.
The water is dirty as well, like. So I use an RO filter, I do, for my drinking and for my fish tanks as well. But I use a bit of tap water just for plants. But my RO filter is only, I don't know, a house filter. It doesn't give me, like, when the filters are brand new, I got 33 TDS out of it. And I don't know, it's been in there a few months now. Like, I've just bought new filters for it because my TDS has got to 100, like, through my filters. And then every time you change the filter pads inside of them, they're like clay, basically, you know, that yellowy clay, like, they're hanging.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because if I remember rightly, I was in one of the magazines I was reading a wee while ago. You guys have got a bit of a trout fishery in some of your mountains somewhere, don't you?
I don't think that was me talking about that because I have no idea what's surrounding. So I don't think that was me that said that. I do remember the conversation.
No. I was reading in a magazine a while ago.
All right. I remember last time you were on about some. Oh no, it was salmon in a lake. That was, wasn't it? And how they didn't spawn.
Yeah, that was with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're talking with Happy Fish Guy about that.
Yeah. No.
Just about got the second bag of
Right.
Nearly got the second bag of moss done.
What? My internet's playing up those songs there.
Right, back in a sec. Just going to drop this in the tank. Rightio. Interesting to see how these moss mats go over time.
Yeah, I seen you building that. That's cool. You're using them as like backgrounds or something?
Yeah, some of them will be backgrounds because they're good for nitrate control and just for eating any of the waste in the water. So mosses just suck it up. But the other side of it is I'm doing the mats on the ground so any of the egg scatterers can drop it in and just take them out and let the fry have a bit of a space to play and hide and find a food source with microorganisms, as well as if I leave the parents and they've got a chance as well.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking earlier, like I don't know why. You do like I don't know if you've got a setup for it that you can put them in or anything, but you don't do any shrimp, do you? That I know of. Why don't you? Why you...
Reason being is we're not allowed to have shrimp here.
Oh right, right, yeah.
We can
That's news.
We can ask for permission from our the Maori to get the local crayfish, but other than that, it's either native, which won't handle our tropics at all, and they'll kill anything that we've got as well, or nothing at all.
Oh, that's crazy. Even Aussie from Australia, like he could get cherry shrimp and stuff like that. So I thought you might have been able to, but clearly not. Like.
No, that's one thing we can't get. They are looking. Apparently, they're looking at the law change that we'll be using Aussie to do our quarantine, and because Aussie's trying to have the same laws as us, in which case, from what it sounds like, they're going to do the quarantine and they'll just ship directly to us. So we may get their fish list as well, which would include shrimp, but I highly doubt they will because quite a few of those shrimp will survive here. And I'm sure there's enough idiots out there who will put them in the wild, and we've already got guppy populations, mollies, cories, and a few tetras up in our North Island.
Yeah, no, I wondered. Well, I just thought like shrimp would have been your thing, like well, would have been something you'd be into, like you know. And I was wondering why you didn't have any, or if you had any plans of getting any, but clearly this is why, like.
Yeah, I'd love to have it. That some of them would be really handy to have. But no, unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah, that's a shame, that is, because I think I think you'd be brilliant with some shrimp as well.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal to have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
check chat, see what's going on.
Right, I know. Thanks again for that. But Matt,
What do you mean? I've been subbed for quite a while, this, Chris.
No, I don't think it's about the sub because he's saying right, why I know. So I think it's about the RO. So because when I was talking about the RO, I think he's asking you if you used RO or whatnot.
Oh, I see. Yeah, reading back. Yeah, no, I don't use RO. Don't need it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you did say that as well. So I don't know if you did, but I'm not sure if that is what he's asking about. So.
No, there's going to be a bit of annoyance because when I go to do the marine, I'm going to have to set it all up so that I can buff everything to the marine level.
I don't know though. You're a breeder. What are you doing with a marine tank? You breeding marine fish? Like I know they're doing clownfish because there's not a lot in marine breeding, is there? Like so. With you,
not that it's a lot of skill to get some of the marine things to breed, but yeah, for me, I just like the idea of breeding.
I know all your tanks are set up like with a purpose, but they all look good at the same time. Like, but they're all set up with a purpose in mind, aren't they? Are they not? They're not all just display.
Pretty much. No, not all display, but I will be doing a marine display. I guess it's sort of part of me because at one point we used to live only 8 hours from the Great Barrier Reef, so we used to go out to it quite a lot. It's sort of like, yeah, you always want a bit of that with you.
Yeah. So your marine tank will just be a display tank, unlike all your other tanks, like pretty much.
Yeah, well. I probably will progress when I get the new fishery built, but yeah,
try and breed some clownfish or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I know frags. You could do frags without any issue.
That's one part here. Even here, that makes quite a bit of money being a growing frags off. There's something about the marine. They're quite stunning, I reckon. Really
they really are. The colors in marine setups is magical, like,
Oh, it's not just that. It's the way they move. There's a complete different atmosphere. How they swim, act, interact. It's really nice.
I don't know if I've noticed much in that way, but I do just like the colors of marine setups. I think freshwater and marine are pretty much the same. Like you've got fish, you've got like top swimming fish, you've got middle swimming fish, you've got bottom dwellers, you got inverts, like snails, you got shrimp and everything. You got pretty much the same sort of setups, but then the color and everything like that, like the corals, which are the plants in the planted world, but the corals then move on their own life and stuff like. I think it is well cool, like saltwater tanks are amazing, like that's the aspect that's caught me on saltwater, but it's just the colors and the way like how corals can move around and find their own homes and stuff. But apart from that, I do think they're pretty much the same as freshwater.
I just really like, and also the colors, particularly the colors, is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's my major catching point is the amount of colors. Like I don't know, you can guess it. Like even the rams give off some nice color, like some iridescent blues and greens and stuff like. But I don't know, like no, I don't know, just the patterns and everything like that. Like in the saltwater world is just, I don't know, it's just magical.
That's the part I miss of.
Maybe you deleted me by accident. Oh no, he is on about sub. Being sub or something, I don't.
Yeah, well, I'll show him something that'll give him a bit of a shock. Let's wait a sec. I'll turn the camera around. And there it is there. I'm subscribed. And if I click on you, Wait for it to load. Subscribe, the notification bell's on.
Yeah, it's probably just YouTube.
I do know though. Just YouTube doing YouTube.
Yeah,
but
probably.
I know that it might be in the settings too, because I might have something set up that it doesn't show who I am, possibly. Because I'm trying to find the flame, and I can't find him anywhere on YouTube.
Just click on his name in chat and go to channel.
Well, I've clicked on it, and it won't do a thing.
If you scroll up in chat, and then the 3 dots next to his, like, on it, go to his, where he's talking, there's 3 dots on the right-hand side. Click on that and say go to channel.
Oh, I see. Yep, found.
Yeah. There you go, mate.
Found you. Right, that's subscribed. That's sorted that. Right, we're all up to speed now. Right, what is missed out in chat?
Yeah, and Geoclick Sprite. That I could find you back on my. I'm sorry, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, you can
no,
see
that's
you
no
now.
problems.
Yeah.
Just usual problems with YouTube.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one thing I've never gotten into, is CO2.
I want to go CO2. It's quite expensive here, I've noticed. Well, everything's expensive here, as I've noticed. So, I don't know. It's like 100 odd just to get me a small bottle of CO2. And I haven't worked out where I can refill it yet.
Yeah, that sounds about the same as us.
Yeah, it's only a small bottle of CO2.
I've tried the... Are you meaning like the way fluval CO2 kits type thing? Oh, I see. You mean pure oxygen. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, he's been using O2 pure oxygen to help his fry grow.
Oh, I do
why,
not want to go to work.
I don't know why you would need that pure oxygen.
Yeah, unless there's not enough, a lot of depletion of oxygen in the water, but that'd just mean more agitation, wouldn't it? Just to get the oxygen movement and content in the water up.
Yeah, well, if it's a fry setup, maybe it hasn't got like a pump or much circulation in the water even. And
Oxidator.
obviously. Oxidator is wonderful. It boosts your bacteria filter. I don't need a boost. Oh, Mac, I've just got now your notification for this live stream.
Well, that's slightly late.
Yeah. It just comes through on my computer and it just pinged on my phone as well.
I've just Googled oxidator, Yeah, I've not seen anything like that before. That's a bit different.
Is it the electric thing in the water, and it electrolyzes the water and creates oxygen, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much working off the nitrogen.
And the oxygen. Because, what is it? Water is just H2O, isn't it? Hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah.
So the electric current splits the hydrogen and the oxygen molecules and releases the oxygen within it. But I would have thought that take out more oxygen from the water because it's splitting. I don't know actually. It's turning it into a hydrogen gas, isn't it? An oxygen gas. So, I don't know.
Reading here, it seems to be particularly useful with protein skimmers and media reactors. So this is probably more of a reef situation from what this website's saying.
I've seen them done on fresh water.
Interesting. We're just going to hop up for a second and have a look at this Grumpy epistogrammus. I put my male Trifascicata in with the female the other day. They went well for 4 days, and I was watching them morning, night. I had them the whole weekend, was watching them, then morning and night I was checking them when I started back at work. And the end of the 4th day came back and she'd shredded him.
Not good.
She hadn't had any yellow on her. She had no signs that she'd been in spawn or had spawned.
Yeah, I was going to say if any action occurred, like.
Yeah, so, and he wasn't displaying at her or chasing her or anything, so it's probably just one of those things I needed to be there a bit earlier to see it, and there she shredded him.
I want to set up cameras on all my tanks and have them connected to my computer and just have them recording all day long. If anything happens, you can just look back on it, and if nothing happens, you can just delete it and record
Actually,
the next day.
Kind of like the big brother of fish rooms.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a webcam on each of my tanks and connect them all to my computer. And you have a look at what you can see where it happened or what the cause was or anything like that. And then if nothing happens that day, you can just delete it. And if for all you people who make videos, right, then it wouldn't be a bad idea either, because you could just take sections that you like out of the video, make your videos with. I don't make videos, but if I did, that would be good having 24-hour camera set up on your tank, because then you can just go through it, take sections out that you want to edit them into a video, right? And upload them.
You'd see some interesting interactions with certain species, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You'd want a night light though. Some blue lights ain't too good for them. But no.
It'd actually be one of those things you could set up, like do a 10-hour film, find someone who's willing and do some music, and then you could probably do one of those relaxation videos for sleeping. Because I see that quite popular.
When I first bought my first fancy Pleco, which was my green plant, he never used to come out. He never used to come out. So I never used to get to see him. So I set up my camera, and I set it there, and I left it there all day long, like recording. And I went back over the footage, and that's and then I got like, I don't know, just a few minutes of him coming out.
Yeah, I know what
the best time I've ever, well, I had got to see my Green Phantom, like, you know, because I never got to see him at all until I set up that. And then I got to see him out and about for the first time, like, because I wasn't around the tank or anything like that. But since I got more plecos, he's been out and about loads, like, so. What's this now? I remember when the 333 is how many he got. 333 pride, I think.
Yeah, I can see it.
Years more. Chris is alright.
Yeah, I've always been careful of tanks that have got their own factory inbuilt filtration. I don't like it. Just a few people.
I don't like them because they take up room, and like you said, you just can't. Like, you could do better than what they've done. Like, you know, you don't trust it because you didn't do it. Like, you know.
Exactly. A girl I know, she purchased one of these new dual Lido tank systems. I said to her, for the $800 you're going to pay for it, just buy like a basic glass tank that they had in the shop, which was just a real simple glass tank. $180. Get yourself a couple of bits of Pret foam from Swiss Tropical. I'll make 2 wee glass holders, which is easy. We'll get a wee fluval power head, some pipe. Problem done. You've got an internal filter that you'll not notice taking up stuff all room. Yeah, it's more useful, long-term more reliable, and easier to clean. And the best part of it would have costed probably $230 for the whole tank.
I'm liking the sponge filters, but my issue is clarity of the water. Not clarity of the water. It's just because I got that dirt on the bottom. My plecos are always kicking it up, and it goes everywhere. And sponge filters don't do a good enough job at sucking up all of those particles, like, you know. That's the only issue I've got with these sponge filters and my plecos at the moment. Because I've got a dirty tank. They keep on kicking up bits of that dirt and then covering, like, I don't know, everything in particles of dirt.
I can definitely understand that, because yeah, they're not like your canisters or your hobs where you can just put a couple of polishing pads in to remove the particles. They're not quite that good.
Yeah. And they haven't really got a strong enough flow on them either. I've got a power aid, well, not a power aid, a wave maker in there, which does move the water around, but I don't know, they don't seem to do the job, like the sponge filters at sucking up all of these different particles floating around in the water, like, you know. I don't want to increase the flow anymore either, because I think for some of my fish, it's already strong enough. But
Okay, so the reading that Chris is writing, the electric model is small, working like a sterilizer model. It's a superstar, very expensive, but you can do a DIY system with the oxygen potato cubes. Has a solution to provide O2 with power fast. Oh, okay, I understand what you mean. Interesting. Interesting.
provide oxygen and potato cubes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sounding more like a more passive version of a UV sterilizer you can put in the tank, but providing O2. Is that correct? Yeah, I get what you mean.
What is a potato cube? What does that do? I don't get it.
Potato cube, I think it'd be referring to a chemical reaction between that and whatever the peroxide, oxygen, and potato cube. So there'll be some chemical reaction creating it if the electricity shuts off.
Alright. No idea.
Well, that's just interesting.
What's that?
Finished feeding the brine shrimp about 20 minutes ago. So the old male Epistogrammus has just had his tail taken a chunk out from the female.
She was hungry.
Yeah, well, I hope she doesn't keep going overnight and destroy him, because it's not like I can just go and replace it, and I don't really want to.
No, I is that the one that you got tore up that you were talking about earlier, or is that a different thing?
No, these are the new ones I've got. I'll see if I can get the I'll get the camera up a bit closer. Let's see if I can show it. Hold on. It's really annoying me now because I'm having nothing but bad luck. There's the male up there, and he's been sulking up the top for quite a while. And the old female, wow, she is getting quite plump, but she's had a good guts full of food at the moment. She's not letting him near any of the food and not letting him anywhere near her end of the tank. So I wonder if I should take him out for the night. But the trouble is, if I take him out and I reintroduce him, she'll only take it as an invader to her territory.
Yeah. So the females are more aggressive than the males, right? I would have.
The males generally are only interested in. There she is, the female. There she is. The females are generally only aggressive around spawning when they got fry, and the males will keep harassing them to spawn. But this male,
yeah, that's what I thought. It'd be the male harassing the female. Spawn.
Like he's eating and he hasn't lost any colour. He's just got a few nips out of his tail. I wonder if I get a wee tub, fill it full of some dirt and sand, and put some extra plants in here to sort of make a bit of a few sight barriers.
Yeah, that might help.
Actually, I'll leave you guys to chat for a minute. I'm going to go and do it now. I've got the stuff I need here.
Yeah, all good. And there you are.
I'm going to use that.
I know, I got a load of fish in my tank, Chris. And my CO2 reader says there's virtually no CO2 in my tank, basically. And I do have 2 sponge filters, so I don't have that much surface out. Well, I do have the sponge filter, but I don't have an air stone in there. But yeah.
Right. Well, get some scissors out, and I'll get some hydrophilia out of my 50-gallon. A real easy to deal with tub. The reason why I don't chuck old plastic containers away, they're always handy.
Yeah, you keep your plants in tubs, don't you?
In some of the tanks, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly because some of the smaller tanks I've kept the substrate pretty low in case I want to change things as I go. Two, three, four. Love this smaller hydrophilia because it grows so quickly. And man, eats up any rubbish in the tank. Carrots, some more of that. One, got it. Should be enough. The other thing I could do is grab a few dither fish in there, give it something extra to think about. But I don't know how well that would go.
Yeah, I've seen that video, Chris. I watched King of DIY make one. Oh, nice tweezers you got there, mate.
I want the proper. Well, a mate of mine's actually in Japan at the moment. I wouldn't mind stainless ones, but he's forgot to get them for me, and he's on his way back. So, these will do. Saves me getting my fingers wet and dirty. One of the things that's annoying with dwarf cichlids, particularly the pistogramus, is they're so grumpy when they want to be.
Yeah, I've got an pistogramma agazizi in my tank, and he's got his corner, and he won't let the ram. The rams are the only ones really. Actually, no. The crebensis. Come feeding time, there's no issue. Like he's out with the rest of them, you know. But after food, or you know, when you just go retreats back to his corner and just sits there like. My crebensis are always out and about, swimming about, eating. But yeah, my pistogramma, mate, he just sits in his corner all day until it's food time.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just
Oh no, it's fine, mate.
Just a little preoccupied.
Yeah, you sort that out.
Just get this in there. Different kettle fish. Sure, she will really appreciate me doing this in her tank. go. And I might grab these crips. Give them a home while I'm at it. And while I'm at it, I'll chuck another log in there to tick her off. At least. There we go. Apart from the fact the light doesn't show very well, it's the tray, a few crips, some narrow leaf hygrophilia, and I just chucked in 3 extra logs to stop her, and I'll quick up the laptop as well. And as you can see, hardly made a dent in the hygrophilia in the 50 gallon. And that's just run off 2 sponge filters, this tank.
There's 50 gallon.
One there. This one has got a... What was that? Something. A Trifascicata male in it. There he is over there somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
Ah, right. Yeah, I see what you're on about. You cutting that out of it didn't make the dent in it.
No, it didn't make a single dent. It just, it did nothing. And there, I was surprised how well those air filters do in there. They actually do quite a good job. Oh. Right. Oh, that's what dropped my torch. Now I know it dropped. I just wonder. I've shifted stuff around in there, so that'll make her grumpy, so she'll have to readjust her territories. He's bailed up in a corner, but he's still moving around and eating. He doesn't look like he's hiding. I wonder if it's worth chucking in a couple of black neons to make a difference, or maybe even some of the killifish, actually. They might just about do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of aggressive fish in the tank.
It's certainly back off the aggression.
Well, on each other, they might just go after the other little ones, like, you know, but the other ones.
Yeah, I might put one of the golden Phoenix in there because they're big enough to take care of themselves. And I know the black neons are big enough to take care of themselves. Well, it's not like it's a small tank. It's a metre long, 22 gallons, so there's still a fair bit of volume in it. And
you meant to be able to breed the Pistogramas in a 10 gallon, didn't you?
Yeah, you can. Well, that's one thing I noticed on Ted Judy's channel. Oh, I must have sliced myself open on something. He does them into 10 gallons. He'll like put about 5 or 6 males with same amount of females, see who pairs off and where the territory is. Pulls that pair out, puts them in a tank, and leaves them to it. And then at some point he pulls the male out, I believe. But it's like as if everyone's got the time to watch, but I don't. So I seem to miss. Like I had it when I used to have McMaster Series. They had a good spawn. They got the fry up till about 10 weeks, and I missed it, and the female just ripped the male to bits. I've just seemed to always miss or stuff up with the males.
Yeah. So you need a camera on it.
Yeah. What I need is to win the lotto.
just speed watch. Yep, 5 times 4 or times 5 or something. So 8 hours is just turned into 45 minutes or something, and you're just watching it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just reading a few comments on a forum about how they can interact and making sure she doesn't kill the male.
You did not get the option to pick a pair. I take it you just had to get what was there, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah, they got mailed down as apparently a selected pair, so I wasn't able to select them, but they're going all right. Today's the first day I've noticed the change in them. He certainly seems to notice the plants in the new log, that's for sure.
You know, maybe she had eggs somewhere or something. I don't know. Like, you know, maybe something happened overnight, and that's why she's chasing them away, because she's protecting something. I don't know.
She could be. Like, they're within 10 inches of each other at the moment. He's just decided it's time to walk away from her, and she's still foraging around. So it's not what you'd say open. I'm not seeing open fighting. They're not. He must have just got too close.
I never had any breeding action from my histogram when I had the female as well. But I've seen, if they're anything like the rams, then so an eggs or something from the male. If they
Yeah, she may have. Just reading all sorts of comments, so sorry for going a bit quiet. Just
yeah, I was reading what Chris is writing now.
Just seeing what's going on with this. Yeah.
What you on about works really well, not like Rapashi. I still use food fried. What are you using instead of Rapashi? Alright, yeah, they didn't like the Rapashi. Got that. What are you using instead? betas are growing up so fast. You should breed some betta fish. Nah.
Yeah. What do we got here? Apache Super Gels.
Do you think you could sell betta fish where you are? It is betta.
Oh yeah, with great ease. They're quite popular here. Unfortunately,
Yeah, well, they
I'm
grow up
an annoying, picky individual because I'd be wanting some of the other varieties than the standard strains, and I'm trying to convince some of the shops to bring in other strains. But I may as well be talking to a brick wall some days.
I would still take in what they've got at the moment, though, mate, because you can breed them so fast. Well, if you can get them to breed, they grow up so fast. I don't know, mine I would say are not far off ready to sell already, like, you know. And then my gourami fry, there's still dots in the tank plate, you know.
Yeah.
Spawned about the same time, and my bedders are ready to go, like, and the gouramis are still dots in the tank. So.
Yeah, I've going to what Chris is saying. I have got Rapashi for some of the fry, and also got Rapashi for some of the fish meals. I only sort of use it as a once a month sort of paste. I prefer baby brine, shrimp, microworms, and various other powder formulas for the fry. I just find Rapashi can get a wee bit messy, and it seems to be a lot more of a fatty type food than than anything.
I've never tried it.
All right. Just gonna be back in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit better. I'll just turn on the air filters up slightly. It's got a bit better flow going in there. Right, where's this female? What's she doing? I'm now fixated on keeping an eye on this male because I don't want anything to go wrong. What can I do? Look, I might actually try another time. The joys of having all sorts of bits and pieces. Thinking about the idea of bed, it would be an interesting idea. I'll have to look at it at some point. So I've got to get the new rack in here soon, and this week's budget's a wee bit blown, but it might be an idea.
Well, you don't need much space for them. I bred mine in one of those breeder boxes that you stick on the side of a tank, and then I just separate, and then I just took them out after what was it? I took out the female first, is it? And then once I seen free swimming fry in the tank, which I admit I only ended up with 4 fry, right? But that's because it was their first time going at it, and they really Like they missed a lot. Like one of them was bent over, arched over, and the other one's just looking at it like, "What are you doing?" Like, you know. So there was a lot of infertile eggs, like, you know, that took place like that. And hopefully they'll be a lot better the second time they go at it, like, you know. But
Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you mean.
First time I only got 4 fertile free swimming fry off of it anyway. So I removed them and I left them in that breeder box until, and I swear to God, man, they grew up so fast, like, you know, because they're almost the size of the dad, like, well, and the mum. Well, they're not. They're, you know, just over half the size, like, you know. Fry are nowhere near the size. You know, they're still pin dots in the water, like, you know. I know gouramis are normally really small, but I don't know, just the amount of time it's taken for them to grow up. And my gouramis are still nowhere near, you know, and I swear my better fish are almost at adulthood, you know, nearly. So I reckon if you wanted to breed them, I think it'd be a good idea, like, because I think you could, you know, push out a good few of them, and they don't take up much room. They're quick and easy to grow up. Might be a good idea. Five, 12, God. I know what do I need a 12-gallon for? Grown out fry. I think Matt just disappeared. Oh yeah. It's just me now. We're still live. For the fry, indeed, or isolate sea fish. Sea fish. All right. Yeah. Well, as quarantine time type of thing, right? Well, I don't know. I got a 5-gallon setup. I just bought 2 tubs. I did. I want to try and breed my bedders in the tubs this time. So I just bought 2 tubs, but I got a 5-gallon. I think it is. It's like 20 liters. Sick. Seek. Yeah. SEEK is seek. So I didn't understand it really, but I'm pretty sure I get what you mean. Quarantine time, you know, sick fish. Yeah, so I got a 5-gallon, and then I got like, I don't know, 74 liter, 75 liter. So I got what is it, 20 liter, 75 liter, 450 liter, and a 200 liter tank. Pretty sure I'm good on tanks. Yeah, it's all good, Chris. I worked out what you were trying to say. Just at first I was like, seek, thing, but yeah, I got it. Sick fish. Where's Matt gone? He left me. I message him on Facebook now. Yeah, that Brady that posted this in that group that you've seen. That's me. That is. If you got it through the group, then you probably seen my link. Seen that, then that Brady